I taught myself Spanish in my early 20s. I have rental property now that pays for about a quarter of my expenses. And I have opted to work in a restaurant, even though I'm licensed to teach legally in the state of Wyoming, because it affords me time to do things like this. This is how I plan my life. Bienvenidos de nuevo, mis polymáticos, Mr. Crofts with Polymath Plans. The first piece of my overall planning system is my list of written goals. If you have things that you'd like to accomplish, but you don't yet have a list of written goals, you need to get one immediately. I got this thing, I think I got a 3-pack at Walmart for like $1. And the cool thing about these is you get like say 50 pages or so per pad, and I use 3 sheets at a time, and as you learn and grow and your goals evolve slightly over time, you start to uncover, okay, maybe I don't really want this one needs to be a little bit more clear. As that process unfolds, you can simply use a new sheet and get rid of the one that you're replacing, or you can replace all 3 at the same time. And you can do that very, very easily because you have multiple pages underneath. This will serve as the foundation of all of the other planning and thinking and doing that you do because it's the beginning of designing your life. So let's break it down. The first page I have is a kind of statement of identity. I've had this be different things over time. Right now, it's a sort of statement of professional identity, summarizing who it is that I am, what it is that I do professionally. And it can be aspirational. It likely will be aspirational, especially when you're just starting out. And for that reason, it might take different shapes. I've had this be statements of affirmation in the past, things like I am strong, I am decisive, I'm capable, whatever speaks to you. The next page is where I keep my long-term vision. This is about 10 years is what I've opted for. You could do somewhere between 5 and 10 years out. I picked 10 years roughly, 2036 specifically because that's the year that I turned 40. And so that was just an easy, I'm 29 years old, I just turned 29. And so 2036 was an easy target for me because that's about 10 years, and 40 is like a nice milestone marker that really is significant. And so if a different time frame makes sense for you, of course that is totally acceptable. It just needs to be far out enough into the future where you can create a pretty compelling vision, because this is like the tippity top, and then we're going to divide out from there. So the first, you can read here yourself. I've got just several statements of having achieved certain things. And I state them in the present tense, the assuming tense, as if I had already achieved them. And the idea is every morning, every night, maybe both, you read these to yourself and you start to believe that they are true or they're going to become true. And the idea is you step into the identity of that person that you expect to become by that time that you've written. The final page of my list of written goals is my milestones. Again, the framework is custom. You can make it exactly how you wish to make it, but for me, I have settled, up to this point anyway, on keeping it in this order and having milestones be the last part. Milestones is where, now that I've got that long-term vision, now I'm going to break it down into sort of checkpoints along the way as to what I expect that journey to look like. And as you can see, I've only taken it so far as one milestone so far. I don't know exactly what 2028 will look like, because most likely 2026, and I have it by the end of 2026, this particular picture of what the end of 2026 will look like will probably change. And that, of course, will influence 2028 and beyond. And so I haven't painted 2028 yet, and that's okay. But again, you're just outlining specific metrics of I have this, I do this, I earn this by the end of this time frame, the milestone that you've chosen. The second piece of my overall planning system might be a little bit more involved and expensive, but there are workarounds. This is called Supernote. For more information on this device, I've made other videos about it in the past, but here is a basic overview. This is my bird's eye journal series. This is where I keep my annual calendar. As you can see today, as I'm recording this is July 16th, and I can see, as it sounds, it's a bird's eye overview of my entire year, and I can quickly navigate between different seasons in order to see the days coming up, events coming up, and I can see also for when I go down into the lower scope goal setting series, which I'll show you here in just a second. I have an idea already of where I am in the season as well as in the year, but in the season, so that I know, and I have that a bit of pressure for when I'm working through my seasonal goals. For example, I know how much time I have remaining. For the next journal series, this is my summer journal, or my summer page in my seasonal planning goal setting series. I have my goals categorized into several sections. I have my 3 priorities, the things that I'm focusing on front of mind as categories of my goal setting system. And underneath each of those, I have the goals that I'm tackling for the season. And then I have some other goals that are more optional. The symbol here is a long-standing symbol in my journaling notation that just means that it's an optional thing, it's not required. For monthly, it's very similar. July, I have again my 3 priorities and my goals separated into those different sections, and then my optionals down in the bottom. And then weekly, I used to not do the separation. I used to just have it all in a single list of goals. But lately I have found it is helpful to categorize my goals even down to the weekly level. The only difference is, instead of having my top priorities in the weekly section or in the categorized sections of the weekly planning, I now have just been experimenting with those things that require my ongoing attention because I've committed to some ongoing activity. For example, weekly YouTube videos, just recently daily Instagram posts, and then I do have that maximize slash monetize underutilized space. That is one of my 3 priorities, and then the other ones down here. And then finally there's the daily. This is where I plan out each day. I use block scheduling, which I've also discussed in other videos. Every day you line out your blocks, and those don't generally change very often, and so you can use them as a framework to plug in the different activities that do change throughout every day. Right now I'm performing this task right here, and then later in the day I've got these tasks. The whole day is lined out for you, and you can again swipe between different days to quickly navigate across your week on the daily level. Okay, and then finally we have Notion. This is where I track a handful of different things. At the top, we have a few different buttons that I use mostly on mobile. I'm on desktop view right now, but I can access this same dashboard on mobile. And I use these buttons for quick capture If I need to do something, I can use this button in order to quickly get it into that task database. If I have a new idea for a video, I can capture it here. A new paycheck, because the way that I work, because I work part-time, a couple of different jobs, and I have Airbnb, and I've got some other things that I'm planning on too. I essentially am aiming, instead of specializing. The whole idea of being a polymath is you collect multiple skill sets and multiple incomes, and so it's helpful to track your specific paychecks because you're not getting paid a regular salary. You're more playing a game and you're kind of going for a high score. And then new shopping list item. This is kind of a new one. That's where, of course, I need to buy something. I'm just going to put it here. 2025 focuses. These are the things I was referencing earlier. There's the same things that showed up in my Supernote. Build my personal brand. Maximize/monetize underutilized space. This is around the house because I live alone in this home that is more space than I need. I already am monetizing one of the guest rooms, and my plan is to rearrange and probably do a little bit of remodeling, although I just had a contractor visit yesterday and I learned some things that are going to shift my plans around a little bit. But the idea is I have way more space than I need myself, and so why wouldn't I monetize that by creating additional living space? And then finally, learn to cook well. That's like it sounds. I want to learn how to cook well so that I learn how to eat well, because that is an investment in my healthcare. I've talked about that in other videos as well. This is probably the most powerful part of my Notion piece of my planning system. All of these are the key metrics that I personally am interested in following. I have my YouTube subscribers. Instagram followers is very new. I've only just begun following that. Watch time, it's also YouTube. Income, the amount of money that I have between my bank and brokerage accounts, the amount of fine gold that I own, because that's another form of money. Born equity, this is the amount of equity I have in my house. And then credit card spending, this is keeping an eye on how much I'm spending, because that's an important thing to be aware of. And then I have all of my tableros. That's in Spanish, that means board. Those are the boards or the Kanban boards that you can build inside Notion. I have different ones for different categories. One for tasks, another for my video production pipeline, shopping list, desired skills, short ideas. These are more experimental. I'm switching kind of maybe from Google Tasks. I'm trying to consolidate everything that I can into Notion because it's such a powerful tool. Although using it on mobile has been there's been some friction because it takes multiple steps to get to the shopping list, and then it can lag sometimes. So I might be changing that. I'll give you an example of one of these, my video production pipeline. I'm sure a lot of you are interested in seeing this. These are where I keep my video ideas. And so from my dashboard, when I click a new video idea, when I click that button, it's automatically going to create a new record in this database, and it'll come over here to the new/banked category. This is where all of the unprocessed ideas live. The target next section is where I have the ideas that are like my favorites. I want to make the video for that next, or I want to target it soon. So these are more front of attention. And then the packaged is where I've done the work for making the packaging for the video. That is, I've settled on the title, or for the most part, I know basically what the title is going to be. And more importantly, I've designed the thumbnail, because both of those pieces are sort of prerequisite to then going on to script the video, record the video, and upload and optimize the video. For more behind the scenes look into how I actually live, you can check out my Instagram. I've been experimenting lately. I'm not really much of a social media kind of guy, but I've been experimenting, and my plan now is to post every day, and so you can check me out there.